The Chicago Bulls lose to the Toronto Raptors, which should not be a surprise to anyone, but the method in which they lost in elite tank job done there by Wes Unseld Jr. We'll talk about it all and more in today's Locked On Bulls.
You are Locked On Bulls, your daily Chicago Bulls podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Thank you for tuning in to Locked On Bulls, member of the Locked On Podcast Network, where it's your team every single day. That's Pat, the designer, host, and creator of the Windy City Breeze, and host of the Chicago Bears podcast over at ESPN 1000. I'm Haize, host and creator of Chicago Bulls Central and Chicago Bears Central YouTube pages and podcasts. Today's episode is brought to you guys by 5 Hour Energy. Have your cake and drink it too. Birthday cake flavor is back. No fork needed. Vanilla cakey flavor, caffeinated kick, and no sugar. It's party time. Order now at 5hourenergy.com or Amazon.
Eating all the cake, no fork.
Hey, all the cake, bro. All the cake. It is what it is. The Bulls lost last night, Pat.
Yeah, they did.
It was a pretty bad tank job there. Now, I will say this. The Bulls got the lead down to 2 very close to the end of that game. And Wes Unseld Jr. must have got the call from the up top, and they were like, tank. Matas Buzelis got pulled the last 2 minutes of the game. We lost the lead, even though he didn't play all that well.
I was going to say, leaving him in would have been helpful to the tank.
Bro, it's man. Yeah, how did you feel about the game last night, Pat?
Listen, the off to a bad start as far as the Matas Buzelis side of it. The big thing that we wanted to see. All right, it kind of sounds like how he's talking, and how he's been heading out of All-Star break. There's been a lot of conversation around him where he's like, I just want to step up more. I want to do more. I want to be that guy. Well, you didn't last night.
He said, I was ready for war. He didn't just say he wants to step up. He said, I'm ready for war. 7 p.m.
Died. Yeah, bro, he was dead by 9. Horrible night last night. Literally looked like, and listen, it's his first night back off of All-Star break, so I guess I can cut him a little bit of slack there, but like it's not what you want to see from a young player who keeps saying he wants more, who you keep expecting more from, who you want to give more to. 2 for 10, 0 for 7 from the 3-point line. I thought he settled so much on 3-pointers last night that he just didn't need to turn the back. Matas Buzelis is a worse turnover machine than Zach LaVine was. Like it's a little concerning what we're seeing right now. And I get it. It's a second-year player. He's a young player, right? Sophomore slumps happen all the time. Remember, I would assume we had a major one and then came back in a major way. So this is not a right Matas Buzelis off type of thing, but it is concerning, in a game like this where you go, all right, there's no one left that Josh Giddey knows except you. So you should be the focal point of the offense tonight. And he kind of was, outside of Anthony Simons, Anthony Simons is just, it's really nice to have a player like Anthony Simons on your team, even though he didn't have a great night. But
he didn't have a terrible night either.
He didn't have a terrible night. He had a night. He had an Anthony Simons get your numbers night. That's what it looks like at the end of the day. But yeah, just concerned about Matas coming out of that, because these are the games where it's like, hey, bro, it's your turn. What do you want to do with it?
Apparently nothing. I don't know what to say. Matas is supposed to be the second segment. We're going a lot into Matas, but it's his comments before the game and then what happened at that game. It was bad, but we did get the return of Trey Jones, Jalen Smith, and Josh Giddey last night. 2 of those players had good nights.
Yeah, it's Josh Giddey looked a little rough.
Yeah.
No, honestly,
he has no rhythm.
There's no rhythm. He has no feel with anybody who's on this team. I'm not surprised by what we saw to Giddey last night. Offensively, he's got to find his footing again. The one bright side, I guess, to it is he's the one guy who didn't turn the ball over 5 times, although he was real close. But outside of that, listen, it was a rough game overall. I think you said it expertly, right? Like as far as the tank job goes, the tank is on. The Bulls are not being competitive, and realistically speaking, you don't have a team that can go out there and compete. And y'all know how I feel about the Raptors. Like, I know where they're at in the playoff standings and stuff like that. Although B.I. threw a pass last night that was insane, and nobody talked about it. This man threw it through the lane and like bent it around Matas Buzelis' leg under the paint, but he didn't shoot it. What that boy name? Mama, I don't know how to say his last name. Sandro on Toronto. Mama Buzelis. You got nothing? All right, don't worry about it.
I got nothing to add to that. I'm not even.
Yeah, no, it was a cold pass, and Buddy like looked at the rim and then kicked it out. But outside of that, listen, like the Bulls don't stand a chance for most nights in this situation. And adding Jalen Smith back into that equation doesn't change that.
What do you just think about like the bench rotation, which Patrick Williams played almost 30 minutes, Trey Jones 22 minutes, Nick Richards only 12. 10 for Rob Dillingham. Like, what did you feel about like the bench rotation? I know we'll get into the Jaden Ivey part of the DNP, but like the players that actually did play, how'd you feel Wes Unseld managed those rotations?
I feel like Wes Unseld went with the demons he knew versus the demons you don't. You know what I mean? Look, Pat Will ain't good, but I know if I throw him in there, this is what I can expect from him. You know, in Wes Unseld's first time coaching, for the most part, outside of Anthony Simons, you played all the guys that you have worked with before. You played all of the guys who you have spent a lot of time with this season, right? And you sprinkled in some Colin Sexton, sprinkled in
a lot of time, Pat. A lot of time.
I mean, listen, Trey Jones, Pat Will, Giddey, Jalen Smith, Isaac Okoro, and Matas Buzelis is where we started the season.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
And those are the guys that played most of the minutes. Outside of that, Anthony Simons. But I mean, that's an easy one. Hey, dude, go out there and score. Like Anthony Simons, just he's so smooth with it when he gets his look. Now he didn't shoot great from 3 last night, but when he gets a look,
there's
man,
a lot
Anthony
of Bulls
Simons
fans that say stuff about Anthony Simons like bad, and I'm like, listen, if they end up keeping Anthony Simons, I'm not mad at that. Like,
it's the one player I want to keep.
He's willing to stay here, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it's the one player I want to keep. It's the one player I expect to be like, why would I want to be here?
Yeah,
because he's an unrestricted free agent. He could just go, well, that's been a season. All right, boys, I'm going to go to a championship level team. And
exactly. Thank you for the 31 games. We appreciate y'all. The Italian beefs are all fire. Tavern style, I didn't know nothing about it, but I'll holler at y'all.
Yeah, like there's absolutely no reason that he should stick around here. And if he does, it is truly because we paid him probably more money than anybody else is going to offer.
That's where I'm at with it too. If Anthony Simons isn't staying, it's because maybe a contender's like, well, we'll pay you this, where the Bulls are like, we'll pay you what you want.
And see, the funny part about it is I actually think Anthony Simons is to a point in his career where he would go, I'm gonna go to cheaper option on a contender because I've lived this life before and Portland is still there. This don't get fixed.
No, I agree with you. I'd be really surprised if Anthony Simons looks at this Bulls team as like, I'll stay for the money. Or maybe he gets excited about what the Bulls do in the draft or something like that. I don't know, because draft happens before free agency in the NBA. So maybe something like that. But I would not expect to see Anthony Simons be in the Bulls uniform next year.
Yeah.
I have no doubt that AK probably wants to keep him, but I doubt to see him.
Well, listen, AK sees this guard rotation and wants to keep all of them. He saw Colin Sexton flip off the rim. He was like, that's my center.
That's hilarious, bro. And you know, AK would say that right after they sign on the dotted line, they sign the contract with "Thank you, you're now our starting center." Like,
yeah, 100%, 100%. Yeah, look what they got. You look on the depth chart. Look where he at. He right above Nick Richards and Jalen Smith. That's it. They just positioned him in that spot, dog. Yeah. Last night, I'll say this. Last night felt weird, even for a tank job, because it's not the rotations that we've seen in the past. And I understand you got certain names back, but you know who Trey Jones is. You know who some of these guys are. Not playing Rob Dillingham was an interesting choice. I guess playing Colin Sexton how you did, I'm fine with. But not playing Rob Dillingham, I thought was an interesting choice.
I mean, he played 10 minutes, but like it just – and I'll say this. In those 10 minutes, he didn't look good either. So it's like –
yeah.
He looked out of sorts. Like, I don't know what that is. So it was just a weird game last night. Everybody was bad last night. Everything was bad last night. Despite the Bulls did look like for a second they're like, hey, are they gonna take advantage of the Raptors collapsing here for a second? But it didn't happen because
it's weird watching a real tank. Like even when the Bulls did this before, they weren't really tanking.
They were just very bad. Yeah,
like Walt Lemon Jr. was a key piece on the team. Like
Paul
it's
Zipser,
weird.
who we're high on.
It's Walt Lemon Jr., who we're high on. Paul Zipser. who we're high on. Any player that sucked back then. Antonio Blakeney, who we're high on.
Oh my God, bro.
Hey, I loved Antonio Blakeney. I ain't gonna lie. I was like, listen, he throw the ball up and it go in. He's horrible defensively,
bro.
But maybe you got your version of Isaiah Thomas.
Yeah. Okay. With that said, next up, we're going to talk a little bit more about Matas Buzelis' game and what he needs to do to be better. Like, Matas has a key opportunity here to step up a little bit, and he's not taking it like, he's not grabbing the bull by the horns like the way we wanted him to.
I don't know if that was
right after this.
I'm so thrown off by that. I had nothing ready.
Ever wanted to experience the NBA Finals live and in person? FanDuel is giving you the chance to turn that dream into a reality with their NBA sweepstakes. Here's how it works. You use your profit boost on any NBA future, and you automatically be entered for a shot to win an NBA Finals trip for two. That's right. Flights, tickets, the whole experience. If you're already looking at the board and thinking about which team can make a deep run, this is the perfect time to lock in. A lot of futures this time of year, whether it's picking a team to win the championship or grab a conference title, it adds the extra layer of excitement to every game down the stretch. And now, not only can you pick cash, but it also can send you to the NBA Finals. Visit FanDuel.com to get started. Use your profit boost on an NBA future and get entered for a chance to win a trip to the NBA Finals. Play your game with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Also got to talk to you guys about another one of our sponsors, and that is Quo. New year, new systems. This is the time when a lot of us look at the messier parts of how we run our business and think there has to be a better way. And there is. Streamlining your communications is one of the quickest upgrades you can make. That's why today's episode is brought to you by Quo, spelled Quo, the smarter way to run your business communications. Because when your team is reachable, organized, and communicating in one place, you're not just working clearer, you're creating more opportunities to connect with customers. I love how simple Quo makes everything. Your whole team can call and text from one shared business number so nothing gets missed. Everyone sees the full conversation thread, which makes replies faster and more personal. And Quo's smart AI tools automatically log calls, summarize conversations, and highlight next steps so details never slip through the cracks. And it's no surprise Quo is the #1 rated business phone system on G2, trusted by more than 90,000 businesses from solo operators to grown teams. Make this a year where no opportunity and no customer slips away. Try Quo for free, plus get 20% off your first 6 months when you go to Quo.com/LockedOnNBA. That's QUO.com/LockedOnNBA. Quo, no missed calls, no missed customers. More Locked On Bulls coming up next. All right, Pat. So, Matas Buzelis, we talked a little bit about Matas and his how he played in that game. Like I said, it's highlighted by how much crap he was talking before the game, saying he was ready for war. If that was your ready for war game, a long way to go. But since we already talked about this game, what is it do you think that Matas can do to be better? And what do you want to see from him over the last 26 games?
Just don't settle. Like last night, I felt early in the game, he didn't finish a couple of layups around the rim, didn't finish a couple of easy joints, and he then went into, I got to jack up threes. Like last night wasn't even these wide open threes. A couple of them were wide open, but there was kind of guys closing out. And I guess if you want to say NBA open, that Matas was there, sure. But like, I just felt like all night he was settling for shots instead of taking the shots that we know he can be very good at getting done. And he was very careless with the basketball, which is also a reason that he seemed to stop driving into the paint. Like that is the moment where one of the 19 point guards on this team, and Colin Sexton said it earlier in the season, it's just like, listen, I'm going to get you the ball, just cut. Be on the lookout for the ball, just cut. Like don't stop shooting it because you're shooting us out of this game. And I feel like we've seen that too often with Matas, where it's like the three ball, he gets hot from three, and he has a couple of games where he's really good, and he thinks that is the mean. And I'm not saying, don't improve your shot, don't get better and stuff like that, but just adjust your shot to what you are that game. Your three ball wasn't falling when you were 0 for 4. Try to get to the bucket a little bit.
Yeah.
You end up going 0 for 7. It's like, a couple of them, it was like, did you throw that up for real or were you joking?
So the thing with Matas, I think, too, is that he has to be a master, like, especially because Billy Donovan apparently doesn't want him taking middies. but you have to be a master at always moving without the ball. And like Matas needs to realize that teams are always going to play him if he drives and cuts consistently because he's a legit lob threat. He can jump over everybody and dunk on your head. So like you're not only you may not get the ball on 95% of those times where you do cut to the basket, but you know what that does? That opens up shots for you. That's how you can be a good teammate. That's how you can be a playmaker, even if you don't have the ball by doing those type of things. Matas really needs to. I just want to see Matas be more aggressive in those areas. It's not. We talk about aggression only in the sense of like scoring, but you can be aggressive and open up opportunities for other people, and that's just where that IQ part of basketball that comes on for people that I want to see Matas really growing.
And like I said, this is a sophomore year. We've seen a ton of sophomore slumps in our time here in Chicago. Like it's not surprising that he's having a little bit of. He's actually having a better year than he had last year, numbers wise. But I feel like mentality wise, maybe a little bit of a down year. He's saying all the right things. I think that he believes that these are the things that he wants to achieve, and he's working towards them. And sometimes you're working so hard to accomplish something, you end up slowing yourself down in a sense, because you're running into walls and you're frustrating yourself. I kind of feel like that's the world that Matas is living in right now where, I mentioned Io earlier. We saw that with Io. Io didn't stop giving effort and didn't stop trying to be a defensive lock, right? Remember, he was coming back off of, remember his rookie year, he had Trae Young and who else? There was a couple of point guards he just had clamped up. And that second year, they all said, okay, now let me show you. I think Kyrie was in there. It was like, let me show you what the NBA really is. And he was trying so hard to be that dude that he ended up still being, but it felt like that he outworked himself and put himself in tougher spots because of it. I kind of think that's what we're seeing out of Matas here right now because he put so much expectation on him. Mm-hmm. And it kind of needs to be like, hey, take a little bit off your shoulders, relax, play your game, and just be comfortable.
Yeah, I mean, at this point in the season, the expectations are removed, right? As far as like just generally, like just go out there, play basketball, be smart, be aggressive. This is the game that Matas clearly loves. The one thing, I've seen people be like, oh, we're watching the P-Will ification of Matas Buzelis. It's like, no, never first of all, his mindset and mentality is already far above anything that Patrick Williams has even done. Like, you clearly can see that Matas Buzelis loves playing basketball. Yeah. And I don't know if that's gotten robbed a little bit. Like, it's tough losing players. Like, he spent almost every day of the offseason with Ayo Dosunmu. Like, it's gone now, right? Like, and I do think there's a human element to that. But, like, you gotta go out there and play this game. And that's really what I want to see from Matas the rest of the way. Just go out there and play basketball. Whatever happens, happens. Win or lose. Like, I think that development isn't always just having success. Development sometimes is failing and then realizing what you need to do so you don't feel that failing again. And that's what Ayo did. Like, Ayo failed his second year. Like you said, always was aggressive, always was trying, but he didn't have a good second year. We've never talked about Ayo. He's gotten better every year since then.
Every year.
Every single year since then, he's gotten better. So just go out there and play your game. Don't get in your head so much. That's what I would like to say for the young fella. Now, what we've heard about Billy Donovan kind of telling him not to take shots and naturally come to him, maybe that's part of what has him in his head. But, like, you just got to go out there and hoop.
It does. I would think there's that too, right? When you've kind of become, go in the post or take threes. I don't feel like that is a good game. I don't feel like that's a good game plan for him. Because he did have that mid-range little hook shot that used to fall, right? He did have, excuse me, that turnaround where all of a sudden, we saw him do it in the Rising Stars game. He was further in the paint, but that back to the basket, low drag step spin where he's just right at the rim. He's 6'10". He used to do that from the mid-range and just go up and lay it off the glass. Like, there's a lot of good basketball that he can have. I do think that trying to force him to fit into whatever the mold is that the NBA has right now is probably not the best, especially when guys are this young. Like, just let them play the game that comes naturally to them and improve upon what they do well. Like, that's bottom line for me. That's the part I hate the most when you see coaches do that.
Yeah. I mean, it is, and I'm sure they have the thought process, but it definitely raises some eyebrows in regards to that. But at this point, all you can do is move on, move forward. Like I said, expectations are basically removed for the rest of the way. Go out there, hoop. I mean, that's all we're doing. We hooping anyway. Go out there and hoop.
No, yeah. We'll see what ends up happening is we got a lot of losses to go. We kind of called it, bro.
Bro, we may have went too far over, wins? Bro. We said 5 wins the rest of the way.
I said 2.
Too high, bro.
I said 2.
You did say 2. Yeah.
And the only two I think you might get are because it's like teams might die that night. Like I got two, bro. I don't think these mother's gonna win at all.
Watch the Bulls come out Saturday and whoop the Pistons.
Shoot, not after what the Pistons did last night,
bro. Listen, Pistons are good, bro.
The Pistons might go to the NBA Finals, bro.
They very well could in these. We got to see Tatum's coming back, so we got to see what that does. But yeah, they very well could.
Last night was a game where I was like, yeah, y'all probably gonna have to chalk this one up. You got no help in the middle, and the Pistons were like, we gonna swarm the paint. We gonna make sure it's not easy down there. Cat's a punk. So once you do that 4 or 5 times, he gonna be like, no, and then. Bro, I looked up in the fourth quarter. Cat had 4.6 rebounds.
Stop. So you can't just have a normal conversation after that Cat impression. You can't keep going with the conversation normally.
You know, I got to spin with it.
Of course. SEC. Hey, bro.
For sure. Hey, bro. Him and Jalen Ramsey are fighting for the 2 zestiest clips of all time, bro.
Could you imagine a podcast with Karl Anthony Towns and Jared McCain on it?
Hey man, let's not get ourselves in trouble. I mean, we gonna talk about the wild Jaden Ivey when we come back after this.
Zesty.
Oh, but first we got to tell you all about the Flavor Draft. Not brought to you by the Cat and McCain podcast. We're looking at every aspect of the draft to let you know which tasty flavors are the best and which might just be sleepers. The board is set, the flavors are ready, and only one is going to take the top spot. Listen, with all the different flavors that you could have with 5 Hour Energy. And I'm talking about the shot that gives you a boost with 0 sugar. You want to talk about some of the sweet flavors like Confetti Craze, Fruity Rainbow, or Cotton Candy. I mean, listen, they've got all of these options available to you. And if you want to get in and find your new flavor, 5 Hour Energy Shot, available online at 5hourenergyshot.com or on Amazon, make sure that you tap in with everything that 5 Hour Energy has to offer, especially their new fruit candy-like flavor explosion. Order now at 5hourenergy.com or on Amazon. More Locked On Bulls coming up next. You can't drop that and then friggin' I gotta do the 5 Hour Energy read. Talking about Confetti Craze, Fruity Rainbow, or Cotton Candy.
Dude, one of the biggest storylines coming out of this game, Pat, is Jaden Ivey. Jaden Ivey got a DNP yesterday, and even some of the quotes from Jaden Ivey after the game saying things like, I know I'm not the Jaden I used to be. Like, it's kind of depressing, bro. Like, are we all, like, me and you both, when we traded, like, okay, we can see it. Maybe they go ahead and re-sign Jaden Ivey. Hope he's going to get back to the player that he can be. But is this maybe the first sign that maybe they don't even give Jaden Ivey the qualifying offer?
It kind of comes down to the conversation we had the other day. Jaden Ivey right now, the player that he is, right? Because it was tough that he was like, the old J.I. is dead. And that Jaden Ivey's probably never coming back. As he adjusts into this Jaden Ivey, is this a player that you want to have on your team as a spot up shooter? He's been very good with the Bulls, 38% from the 3-point line, which is a really good shooter for this team. He's been 2 steals a game. I don't know if you knew that for the Bulls this year, only in 4 games, but still, pretty impressive. The defensive side of the ball that we're seeing. And he's been almost 12 points a game as he's trying to figure it out and really getting some of the most playing time he's gotten throughout the entire season. Is that a player that you are willing to invest in moving forward? Is the new version of Jaden Ivey a good enough player to you? Because, again, if this is where his mentality is at right now, he's more than likely not getting back to being the player he was in year 1 and year 2. But very similar to a guy in Sean Livingston who broke his leg in year 2, right? Didn't he snap his leg in year 2?
Didn't I just say, this is the same guy who left that comment.
Jesus Christ! Hey, this man's on the screen, no shirt,
no shirt, no hair, no common sense with that comment. It's just a fail all the way around, bro.
Just bald and bad. What the heck?
You know what? Why are y'all so weird that y'all go to every different channel and copy and paste the same? Are y'all trying to be heard that much?
Fam, I ain't gonna lie to you. Having a comments locked into your notes is kind of crazy.
It's crazy, right?
It's kind of crazy.
It's crazy, bro. It's losing mentality. Go ahead, though.
But no, like, is this version of Jaden Ivey a player you want to invest in? Sean Livingston did this and made a heck of a career out of it.
Man, I mean, here's the thing. I would say this, Pat, and tell me how you feel about it. To me, I wouldn't be mad at the qualifying offer. I wouldn't even be mad if it's a qualifying offer and say that. Basically, like, hey, 1 year, let's see if that mentality changes.
Yeah.
Or maybe you can get him on, because if he is worried about injury, maybe you can get him on a 2 or 3 year deal, like similar to what you did with Kobe and Io after down season. Maybe get them on a really reasonable contract and basically say, hey, you got 2 years now to show us who you are. We'll pay you. Well, we'll be willing if you go back to it, but let's see what you can bring in, and maybe it's a less than $10 million offer or something like that. I wouldn't be mad at keeping Jaden at that price.
If it's cheap, I think it's worth the chance. I don't know what he's going to be around the league. The mentality scares me.
That's fair.
It truly does. When I heard that last night, I was like, okay, so that tells me all I need to know. So don't expect him to be that player ever again, because he's not expecting that.
Mm-hmm.
So now what's the player that you have? And you do have a good player. Now, last night with the DNP was like you said, an expert tank job, because he probably was the 3-point shooting you needed to put you over the top. But as far as a 3-point shooter, I think Jaden Ivey has proven that, he's a very good set shot shooter. I think he's getting better shooting that three in motion. That's kind of where my concern was, bringing him over. And he's trying to become an off-ball player on the fly. He's doing a better job at it than I thought he was going to be able to do it in the limited time that we've seen. So we'll see what ends up happening with him. But yeah, a lot of concerns around Jaden Ivey. If you, especially seeing as how you traded
Kevin Huerter. I mean,
yeah, it is Kevin Huerter. I guess I'm not that hurt by it.
Yeah, I'm not that.
And the tank is on. I said, and the tank is on.
Yeah, so I'm not really that good. I'll say this: all these shooting guards, because I do think the Bulls should take best player available. I know everybody's going to freak out if we don't take a center, but if there's a shooting guard on the board, all these guys may be gone.
Yeah.
So
yeah, we'll see. We'll see what ends up happening. Hey, man, follow us on everything at Locked On Bulls. You can follow me on everything at Pat the Designer. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love as always. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page.
You guys can follow me at CEO Haize. Thank you for tuning in to Locked On Bulls today. We will not be back tomorrow. Of course, it's the weekend, so we'll see you guys on Monday. You guys can also go and support us by signing up for the Everydayer Club as well for Locked On Bulls. Go to lockedonbulls.supercast.com to sign up. You can get a ad-free version of the podcast. You get exclusive other things over there. You also get access to the Discord if you join the Everydayer Club as well, where I popped in there a little bit. There's not enough Bulls fans in there for me to stay in there consistently. So some of y'all go sign up. Maybe I'll be in there a little bit more consistently. But this has been Locked On Bulls, man. We're free, available everywhere that you want to find us. Anywhere you can get, anywhere you want us, you can get it.
Yeah.
Peace, y'all.
Peace.
Bro,
somebody in the chat said a zestarian.